Okay. Meant to take a power nap of 15 minutes and ended up sleeping 6 hours. Um, but it feels like 3 or 4. Um, Debrief. I was watching the news yesterday. Not very long. I was kind of busy making dinner and stuff, but the local news was saying how Japanese tourists come here to shoot guns. Um, and it's an industry. It's one of the streams of income for the state, at least for Oahu. And I was thinking that's kind of weird because one, President Obama has this website where citizens can, public can write a policy or write something. We the people. It's called We the People, and if you get 100,000 people to sign on your bill, it'll get to the president's desk. And they gave an example. I did one for gun control after Sandy Hook. No, Sandy Hook? Um, Wait, there was Superstorm Sandy, and then Sandy Hook Elementary. Adam Lanza or something. I printed the article. How he was mistreated in. It talks about his mom saying that, giving her point of view of what happened if no, a woman's point of view, a mother in that state. Anyways, because he killed his mother, and she had guns in the house, and I thought there is a problem. Why don't we address it? And I wrote this bill. You have 500 words or something to write your bill, and then afterwards they have this other section you can do background information on what you wrote. So I did that. Nobody signed on to my petition. It's a petition, right? A petition. So um, now the news is saying that Hawaii has one of the tightest gun control policies of the 50 states. And I was thinking to myself, with all these shootings that are going on, and it's becoming something that has to be addressed with laws and stuff. Why doesn't one state try to be the first guinea pig of a new way of doing something about gun control? And say, for instance, um, having an either armory deposit or arms depository, where you voluntarily give up your guns from the home, and it's kept safe so your children can't get to it, burglars can't get to it, all that kind of stuff. But it's open 24/7, and if you want to have your gun, you have to come up with documentation that you're not going to use it against mass killings or something. But I was trying to combine something with mental health and gun control. Um, at least what happened to me when I came into the mental health system. And so I did the We the People. No one signed it. They gave it. The ones that made it to the desk, the ones that had 100,000 signatures, was the United to build a Death Star for the United States of America. Like Star Wars. That one got all the signatures and made it to his desk. I mean, something so ridiculous that, you know, I was like, no wonder mine didn't get to the desk of the president. Oh, so funny. So there's only one person, and he's Raul and Wanda's friend, Michael Figgins, or yeah, Figgins, and he was so militant about not having the government take anything of his and blah blah. I mean, it's made my heart pound. It made me really scared. So we had a debate going on back and forth, and then I said something to the effect of, Well, I'm glad I can't get a gun because if I think a car can be a weapon, can kill someone, then definitely I don't want to touch a gun. And he asked, why, Tony? Why wouldn't you be able to get a gun? And I went, because I'm certifiably insane. I have manic depression. I wouldn't pass the background check or whatever you need. Crazy people aren't allowed to have guns, or at least they shouldn't. And he didn't respond. He thought I was a normal person. No. So I had this idea. You know how the government gives you a grant to do something and then they take away funding? So, or the law sunsets after 5 years or 4 years or 3 years, it depends. So, Hawaii becomes the first state to have an arms depository, armory deposit. And it's all voluntary, okay? You don't have to do it. Because I'm sure there's some people who go to sleep at night thinking, oh my gosh, I have these guns and we have kids in the house and you never know if, how to, we're not home and, whatever. It'd be a good thing to have an armory deposit. And so in my mind, in my imagination, I made the apartment be the interior where there's rows. There's, just like you go to a bank and people in line go to each clerk and we treat you special, you know. But it's for not only Hawaii, but all 50 states. But we're actually doing it for whatever state right now is having problems with gun control or guns. And I was thinking, how about Missouri? And, the architecture is kind of like what their architecture is like there in Missouri. And um, built with heavy materials and all this kind of whatever federal laws require for armor deposits. And next door is the you can buy the ammunition, you can buy the straps and case, the gun case, um, t-shirts, bulletproof vests, all this kind of stuff. They give it to you free. Okay. And then upstairs would be a balcony kind of seating outside for coffee or coffee tea soda. It's like a coffee shop, and you can only if you willingly participate in this program, you get to have everything. And then so the ones who voluntarily do this because they do have a reasonable amount of fear for their family, um, they willingly do this, and then they show to the other people, that we're trying to actually get those guys in, but we're doing it through the back door by, you know, having these people, they show all the stuff you get free. And, but we deliberately design it to fail because it's going to be converted to a prison, okay, if it fails. But if it is successful, then Missouri can now build the exact duplicate of what we designed in Hawaii. And then, and then I heard in the I heard a thought. It wasn't mine. It came from back. Ions are in the brain. Like we have, like I think that ions. Every animal has ions. Like birds, like the movie, The Core, and little ions in the brain. Well, thoughts can be on ions too. I think, and it can float through the air and it'll reach you. So there was a thought, and it said the federal building. We have a federal building and a state building right across the street from each other. When you commit a federal offense, they have the courts over there, and then the state. I only go to the state building because for tax forms, they separated out federal, tax forms for every form. They have everything, but it's also the court over there too. And then there's another state court across the street from that, and that's all in kind of in the downtown area, but not well off Punch Bowl at least, off of Punch Bowl Street. So, and that building looks like in the TV show Bones, when Seeley Booth goes, they show him in his office. They show the exterior of a building, and it's a federal building. And it's kind of like a design like I. M. Pei, no, Frank Lloyd Wright. Sorry, Frank Lloyd Wright kind of a design, but very, yeah, very static. I don't know how to explain it. It's just blocks. Looks like blocks and wood blocks, kind of thing. And it was a thought, not my own. How about the federal building? Use that building for gun control, the arms depository, and then if it doesn't work, it could be converted to a prison. And that's the main goal. We don't want it to be armory deposit. We want another prison, because our prison buildings are so old and overcrowded and out of date. So so it's like gentle. That's what American policies are like for Americans. For our domestic policies are actually gentle nudge theory, or you gently nudge Americans to do the right thing. so um so so I thought, yeah, but then don't we still have to have a federal court? You know, oh, I saw a blue dot. Sorry, sorry. So if if Americans don't, they're not in my backyard. They're not going to put a prison in our backyard. Well, we can do it that way through the back door. You know, go in through the back door rather than so direct. Everyone would be, yeah, we'll have arms depository, and there'd be the way that um, will fail is it doesn't change the status quo of gun incidents. But if it does, and it lowers gun incidents and crimes against, man-to-man crimes of murder and all that kind of stuff, then you have another 6 months. You add another 6 months that the arms depository could work, armory deposit could work. I don't like depository. It sounds too much like suppository. You don't remember those gray pills you stick up your butt when you're sick? So, armory deposit. And it's a really beautiful building of that area or county or sitting county or whatever in Missouri where they're having problems right now. And then, so I thought that was weird. I was like, I saw the news and uh-oh. Because they're saying that Hawaii, on Waikiki, there's about 40 different gun places that the public doesn't know about because it's promotion for Japanese tourists who have such a strong um, system of gun control that some people want to play with the guns, and so they come to Hawaii to do that. And there's shooting ranges that are indoors. And I thought, wow, why don't you make it outdoors too? Like but they don't do that because Top Gun, I like that show when I catch it sometimes. All these people they have to train their teams, and it's real interesting. Yeah. Um, I mean, TV is so interesting. They have programs that are amazing. Uh, so, I was thinking that, um, okay, that's gun control. So I was kind of having a heart, my heartbeat my heartbeat was kind of going fast. Oh my God. Yeah, and we'd be able to use the blind in this armory deposit. Um, put the blind to work, and that's one of the things that, as a Medicare Medicare benefits planning educator, we only concentrate on mental health, but there's also a section in the policies about blind people who are blind, and if they get disability checks also. But if you get them back to work, they're not crazy. They just can't see. They'd be really good at they'd be a clerk for, like, I'd be a clerk, and then my partner is blind, and we'd be getting all the stuff that we're giving to that person. They could do inventory, you know, Braille boxes, and they do it whatever is easiest for that person to have the bags in one area, all that stuff. The thermoses, the beer mugs, but it's actually for soda. Wink. It's for soda, sir. Wink. It's actually beer, a beer mug. Different type of beer mug. With your logo, with your state seal on it. And then you get to be on a list because Ni Hao is owned by the Robinson family. And they protect the local people there. And if they need to go hospital, they come to Oahu. But they open up once a year. They allow hunters to control the pig wild boar population because they tend to eat the crops and ruin crops. So once a year you're invited, but you have to be invited. I don't know what the process is, but Niihau, you can only go there by invitation. It's a privately owned island. And you think of Robinson Crusoe, all that stuff. I wonder if it's based on Niihau. I don't know. But that was a Disney movie, and I liked that movie. And they used to when I went to Disneyland when I was 8 years old. It was the summer before fourth grade. We went to Disneyland, and we went into one of this wasn't a set. It was for Robinson Crusoe, how they lived in a tree or a tree house kind of thing, and I thought it was so cool when I was 8 years old. Yeah, Trisha. I don't think Trisha went to Disneyland. It was Tensha and Tensha, my middle sister, and I went to Disneyland, San Diego Zoo, and right. So to get back to the point, gun armory deposit. I was thinking to myself, my goodness, this is interesting. I've been to a gun place, but it was for BB guns, not for bullets. And my nephew Logan, and that's nearby on Waialae Avenue in Kaimuki, across from Big City Diner. They have this gun zone or something, and my nephew wanted to go there, so I said, okay, sure, let's go. I'll take you. So I know what those guns are heavy. They look real, but it's a BB gun, and next to it was the range. I think it was shooting range or obstacle course. Obstacle course. I don't know. I didn't see that. I just held the gun, and it's very heavy. Guns are. If that was to mimic an actual gun, it's very heavy. But guns scare me. I mean, if a car can scare me, then definitely a gun. So I was listening to this, and I was this is so odd. This is very odd, Okay. Okay, but a knife is more dangerous at 20 inches away than a gun. And in D.C., when I was living on the East Coast, Washington, D.C. was the number one um, number one city of gun incidences, where an innocent bystander would more likely get hit by a stray bullet, than the person having an argument with. And I thought that was really funny. So if you don't want to get shot, start the argument, and then someone else would get killed. So, well, no, that's not funny. Someone else would get hurt. And I thought, that is so weird. Okay, I think that's it.